Awesome. Well, today let's talk about getting a Google business location if you don't have one. I, getting a Google map pin, a pin on the map is obviously one of the best ways to drive business. A service area business just doesn't get a lot of traffic, if any at all, and it can make it really difficult for you to grow as a business owner. And so for me personally, I end up talking to a lot of business owners for whatever reason that are starting out, they're brand new, or they're just taking their Google business profile. They're starting to take Google business seriously. And they want to get on Google business. So for whatever reason, I like talking to people who are kind of in the newer phase, or that's who ends up calling me. So this is a problem I deal a lot with, people who are typically in home service businesses, who work from home, and who, they still have a team, but they don't have the money to go and spend thousands of dollars on a storefront, nor would it really give them any benefit to have that. But they need the Google Map pin. So let's talk about some of the ways that you can get a Google Map pin on Google Maps, Google Business Location. What are the risks here of doing it? And and then I have actually a story that kind of brought this on. So first of all, let's talk about some ways that you can get a Google Map pin. So realistically, in order to get a Google Business Location, you need a location that you can call your own that has its own separate space. So the first thing you can do is just ask around to friends and family. I find most of the time people can find a solution if they ask enough friends and family to find either somebody who has a business commercial location that they don't need a Google Map listing for, so they'll let you just use it, or somebody who has a location in a commercial setting where they have maybe multiple offices within the building, and they'll let you use one of those offices as a suite number to then put your business, right? So what I'll do oftentimes is say somebody has 100 Park Avenue, that's their business, right? And they're going to let me come in and put my business here. I'll call it 100 Park Avenue Suite A or Suite B or Suite 101, right? Or something like that. And then when I go to do the verification, I'll put signage on the outside of the building, right? And on the door. I'll put the suite number on the door that I'm using, and then I'll video verify showing all that signage, right? On the door, this is where I am. I'm in this office specifically where customers can come, because that's really what you're proving to Google, is that customers could potentially come there and have a meeting with you. That's all, right? So that's the first step to exhaust. Number 2 is finding a place that is just insanely cheap. That might not always be available, but occasionally around where I am, something will pop up for like $200, right? Like a room with no windows and an office space that's, 5 by 5. Who cares? What do I care? So if it's cheap enough, right? If you can find something that's cheap enough, that's great, right? Get that, put your signage on it, put your signage outside the building, shoot your video verification, and there you go. Now you have a physical location. So that's awesome. And then number 3, and where this all really comes from, is I have this customer I'm working with right now, and he's already put $50,000 into equipment. And so he doesn't have a choice, right? He has to go. And he understood that the map pin is the way to go. So he just started going door to door to businesses in the location he wanted to be in. And I hats off to this guy. This is an amazing story. And he was offering them, I think, $100 or something, right, to let him put the pin in their location. And within a day, he found somebody that not only said yes, but completely understood what it was that he was doing and told him, I don't care. You can put a sign out front. You can put a sign on the door that you can leave. I don't care. So this guy's fine with him putting up permanent signage. So sometimes it's just a numbers game and finding somebody who understands what it is you're trying to do. I've found trying to convince someone that doesn't understand what's going on can be really difficult. They think there's all these risks. It's not worth your time. I usually just say, go find someone that says, oh yeah, I get that. Sure, go for it, right? You want somebody who really just understands what it is that you're trying to do. But if you're just persistent and you get out there, not only can you find a location, you could probably find location in the best areas for your business. So that's, I think, a really good lesson. So go find a place. If you need a place, go find it, right? Go focus on finding it until you do. So what are the risks here? Well, I think number one, the risk of any business on Google Business is that they can ask you for re-verification or suspend your listing for any reason. It may have nothing to do with anything that you think it does. At any point, that can happen, okay? So just be prepared for that. And even legitimate businesses who get asked to re-verify or get suspended, sometimes they don't even make it through suspension, or it can take months. So that's always a risk, but for you, it's going to be a bigger risk because video re-verifying can always be even more of a hassle. And number two is if you're asked for suspension documents and you can't send in, actual utility bills or those type of things that prove a location that Google likes. Google loves utility bills, right? Because it's like you operate and you're paying utilities out of this building. And you're not going to have those. So that's big. So understand you could be put into that for any reason. A customer can report you. Another business can report you. That can always happen, right? So be aware of that. Another risk is that you might have to go video verify this location 5, 6, 7, 10 times. Sometimes it takes so many times for Google to accept a video verification. Especially right now, it's been so slow, and I've been getting denied on things that are absolutely 100% valid. So there's always that just kind of annoyance to the business owner, right? So there's that, and then I don't remember what I had. I think I had something else here. So just reported. So I think then the question is, is that worth the risk? And in my mind, it is. For a new business, I think it's worth the risk. It saves you a lot of money, right? And you may never have any problems. I've had businesses that have run for a long time, had no problems, right? And they have an office. They basically have an office they can go to, right? They could bring customers there if they wanted, right? So it's not like they're really breaking any rules here. I think that's important, but either way, you just want to get the pin. You want to get a pin on the map. You want to get going. You want to give customers a way to call you, right? And put yourself in a position to win. So it's way better than a service. And that's the other side of this is compared to a service business. Here's the question to ask yourself. Unless it's not a question, it's a statement. Unless the businesses that are ranking at the top of Google are also service businesses, you don't need a service business. And on that, if you can get a pin at your house, I would never do that. That is way more risky. That at any time could just be removed. You're not going to be able to prove that location in a suspension because it isn't a valid business location because it is not commercial. So I think that is an insanely higher risk than going and finding a commercial location, is putting your home address. So that's my take on getting a Google Business location. If you want one and you need one, go get one. Find a way to get one and persist until you find one and get that map pin. So awesome. Hopefully this is helpful. Let me know if you have any questions or anything you want to discuss, and we will talk to you tomorrow. See ya.